On a dusty outpost on the edge of the Sakari Nebula, Ethan Carter leaned against the bar counter, nursing a glass of Terran bourbon. The dimly lit tavern was a haven for weary travelers and smugglers alike, its walls adorned with the trinkets and trophies of 1,000 adventures. It was here that Ethan had found himself after a particularly rough trading run. His face was unshaven, his jacket torn at the collar, but his eyes gleamed with a resilience that came from years of navigating the galaxy's most dangerous regions. He'd just decided to call it a night when a shadow loomed over him. "You there, human?" a deep voice bellowed. Ethan looked up to see a towering alien, its skin a deep shade of green and eyes like molten gold. It had a wide grin that revealed rows of jagged teeth. "The name's Gorath, champion of the Valter Dominion. I hear you Terrans know how to handle your liquor." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "We hold our own." Gorath leaned closer, slamming a metallic gauntlet on the bar. "Then how about a little wager? The Galactic Gauntlet starts tomorrow. A drinking and bar games contest like no other, spanning across the cosmos. Winner gets a lifetime holiday on the resort planet of Elysium, and a shiny new ship to get there. Interested?" Ethan took a sip of his bourbon, eyeing Gorath carefully. He could see the crowd around them growing silent, every eye in the bar fixed on this impending showdown. "What's the catch?" Gorath laughed. "Besides out drinking and outplaying the best from every corner of the galaxy? Just a little thing called survival." Ethan's grin was slow but sure. "You're on." The next evening, the tavern was filled to capacity. Contestants from a dozen systems were lined up, each nursing a drink and eyeing their competitors warily. The first challenge was a drinking relay known as the Sakari Shuffle. Gorath stood next to Ethan, his gaze focused on the first round of drinks. "Hope you like your booze strong, Terran." The rules were simple. Down 5 shots of the local moonshine and then complete a dizzying obstacle course. Ethan and Gorath were the last to take their positions. "Ready?" a holographic referee announced. "Go!" Ethan grabbed his first shot, the burning liquid searing down his throat. By the 5th shot, his vision was blurring, but he quickly stumbled toward the obstacle course. He ducked under low-hanging beams, rolled through electrified hoops, and swung across a chasm filled with glowing lava. Gorath was right behind him, his larger frame smashing through obstacles with raw power. The final stretch involved a high-speed sprint down a narrow walkway suspended over the bar. Ethan pushed forward with all his might, his heart pounding in his ears. He could hear Gorath's heavy footsteps gaining on him. With a final leap, Ethan crossed the finish line, collapsing onto the mat. Gorath was just a second behind, his breath labored and eyes burning with determination. "Lucky start," he growled. Ethan smirked, wiping sweat from his brow. "We'll see." The next clue led them to a hidden bar on the frozen moon of Tavaria. The challenge here was the Tavarian Toss, a game that combined strength, precision, and a fair amount of luck. Contestants were required to throw weighted rings onto glowing targets placed on floating platforms. Each successful toss moved the target further away. The first to reach 10 successful tosses would win. Ethan stood beside a lithe alien with iridescent purple skin and 3 eyes, while Gorath loomed nearby, flexing his immense muscles. The game began with a loud gong. Ethan focused on his first toss, aiming carefully and letting the ring fly. It landed perfectly on the glowing target. Gorath's ring followed, smashing onto the platform with brute force. As the targets moved further away, the competition grew fiercer. Ethan's arm began to ache, but he pushed through, carefully calculating each toss. Gorath relied on sheer power, but as the targets became more distant, his accuracy faltered. After 9 successful throws, Ethan prepared for his final toss. He took a deep breath, his eyes narrowing at the distant platform. He let the ring fly, and it soared through the cold air, landing squarely on the glowing target. The crowd erupted in cheers as Ethan raised his arms in victory. Gorath smashed his fist into the ice, cursing under his breath. "Don't get too comfortable," Gorath snarled. "The next challenge will be your last." The next clue directed the contestants to a bar deep within the heart of the Krellorian labyrinth, an ancient asteroid field known for its treacherous navigation. The bar itself was hidden within a hollowed-out asteroid, accessible only through a maze of tunnels. Ethan piloted his old freighter through the labyrinth, dodging asteroids and debris with expert precision. Gorath's sleek cruiser followed closely behind, its engines roaring as it weaved through the rocks. The bar was a dimly lit cavern, filled with the smell of burning incense and the hum of alien conversation. The challenge this time was a game of Krellorian darts, a complex sport that involved throwing magnetic darts at a rotating board while the contestants themselves were spinning on a gyroscopic platform. Ethan and Gorath took their positions, strapping themselves onto the spinning platforms. A lithe insectoid alien named Zix stood between them, her compound eyes glancing from one competitor to the other. "The rules are simple," she chirped. "Hit the bullseye 3 times while rotating and you win. But beware, missing the target incurs a penalty." With a metallic clank, the platforms began to spin. Ethan felt his stomach churn as the world blurred around him. He gripped a dart tightly, focusing on the rotating target in front of him. He threw his first dart and it struck the outer ring, eliciting a loud buzzer sound. The platform spun faster. Gorath's first throw missed entirely, and his platform jerked violently, almost throwing him off. Ethan steadied himself, breathing deeply. He threw his second dart and it landed closer to the center. Gorath's second attempt also found the inner ring. The platforms reached dizzying speeds as Ethan prepared for his final throw. The target spun rapidly, but he timed his throw perfectly, the dart landing squarely in the bullseye. The platform slowed to a stop, and Ethan staggered off, victorious once more. Gorath managed a second bullseye but missed his third, his platform spinning wildly before he finally stumbled off, swearing furiously in his native tongue. "You think this is over, human?" Gorath spat. "The real challenge awaits." The next coordinates led Ethan to the Zorvian Arena, a floating bar located in a microgravity zone within the Zorvian ring. Contestants floated weightlessly as the challenge was announced, a zero-gravity drinking contest combined with a game of spaceball, where each player had to score goals while consuming a series of increasingly potent drinks. Ethan and Gorath faced off once more, each holding a glass of potent Zorvian ale. The first goal required them to drink and then maneuver a glowing orb into a floating hoop. The microgravity made movement tricky, but Ethan quickly adapted, using the pushback from his drinking motion to propel himself toward the goal. He scored the first point easily. Gorath struggled with the lack of gravity, flailing awkwardly before finally managing to score a point. The drinks became stronger and the goals more challenging. By the 5th round, Ethan's head was spinning, and his vision swam with the potent combination of alcohol and weightlessness. Gorath, meanwhile, seemed to be gaining momentum, slamming the orb into the hoop with increasing force. The final round required the contestants to finish a glass of Flareon firewater before scoring the last goal. Ethan downed the burning liquid, his throat aflame, and pushed off toward the goal. Gorath was right behind him, his massive frame hurtling through the air. Ethan reached the hoop first, slamming the orb through just as Gorath crashed into him. They tumbled weightlessly, grappling in midair, before finally separating and drifting back to the bar. The referee declared Ethan the winner, and Gorath let out a roar of frustration. "Enjoy your victory while you can, human. The final challenge will be your undoing." The final coordinates led the contestants to the volcanic moon of Gorgorath. The last challenge was the Gauntlet, a grueling race through a deadly obstacle course set within the moon's lava-filled canyons. The winner would earn the lifetime holiday on Elysium and the high-tech spaceship. Ethan and Gorath stood at the starting line, their breath steaming in the sulfurous air. A crowd of spectators had gathered, including a stunning alien woman with luminescent blue skin and silver hair. Her name was Lyra, a diplomat from the Andromedan Alliance, and she watched the competitors with keen interest. She also had the job of detecting if any competitors were using any enhancements to neutralize the effects of the alcohol, to gain an advantage. Even the things usually went smoothly without much trouble. She knew Gorath had a particular bias towards humans, and would do anything not to let Ethan win. After the checks were done, the all-clear was given. Lyra gave a little cute wink at Ethan. smiling and was slightly distracted. Gorath seen this and jumped ahead quickly. Ethan, finally realizing, sprang into action. The race began with a deafening horn blast. Ethan and Gorath sprinted forward, leaping over molten lava rivers and dodging geysers of boiling sulfur. The air was thick with ash and smoke, making visibility difficult as they navigated the treacherous terrain. The first checkpoint required each contestant to drink a glass of Gorgorathian lava ale, known for its intense heat and mind-bending intoxication. Ethan grimaced as he downed the searing liquid, feeling it burn its way down his throat. Gorath, however, finished his drink with ease and shot Ethan a sly grin before charging ahead. Unbeknownst to Ethan and the competition officials, Gorath had smuggled in a small device that neutralized the effects of alcohol. It was hidden beneath his armor, and each time he drank, the device quickly purged the alcohol from his system, leaving him sober and clear-headed. Despite his advantage, Gorath struggled with the gauntlet's physical demands. The next section involved climbing a sheer rock face while avoiding falling boulders and jets of scalding steam. Ethan's years of experience in rugged terrain gave him an edge, and he quickly gained ground, pulling himself up with determination etched across his face. Gorath, meanwhile, was hampered by his bulky frame, and his frustration grew as Ethan reached the top first. The crowd cheered as Ethan continued through the course, sliding down a steep slope and sprinting across a narrow bridge over a bubbling lava river. At the second checkpoint, the contestants had to finish a bottle of Martian moonshine while balancing on a spinning platform. Ethan wobbled precariously, the potent alcohol blurring his vision and making the world spin even faster. Gorath, however, remained steady, his device neutralizing the effects of the moonshine as he quickly downed the bottle and leaped off the platform. The final stretch of the gauntlet involved a sprint through a maze of electrified barriers and swinging blades. Ethan charged forward, ducking and weaving with precision. Gorath was right behind him, his massive frame bulldozing through the obstacles. As they neared the finish line, Gorath lunged at Ethan, trying to knock him off balance. Ethan stumbled but managed to stay on his feet, his eyes locked on the goal. With a final burst of speed, he crossed the finish line just ahead of Gorath, collapsing onto the ground in exhaustion. The crowd erupted in cheers as the holographic referee declared Ethan the winner. Gorath roared in fury, tearing off his armor to reveal the hidden device. The referees quickly moved in, disqualifying him for cheating and escorting him away in disgrace. Ethan was still catching his breath when Lyra approached, her silver hair shimmering in the light of the lava flows. "You did it," she said with a smile. "Despite Gorath's tricks, you won." Ethan looked up, his face streaked with sweat and soot. "Yeah, but I couldn't have done it without a little luck." Lyra held out her hand, helping him to his feet. "Luck or not, you've proven yourself. You deserve this victory." The prize ceremony was held in the shadow of the gauntlet, with the volcanic landscape providing a dramatic backdrop. Ethan was awarded the lifetime holiday on Elysium and the keys to a sleek, high-tech spaceship. The crowd cheered as he held up the golden trophy, his smile wide and genuine. As the celebration died down, Ethan found Lyra waiting by his new ship. "So where to?" she asked, her blue eyes twinkling. "Elysium," he replied. "A lifetime holiday sounds pretty good right now." Lyra stepped closer, her voice soft. "And would you mind some company?" Ethan looked into her luminous eyes and felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the volcanic heat. "I'd be honored." Ethan and Lyra stood on the sandy shores of Elysium, the turquoise waves lapping at their feet. The resort planet was a paradise of lush jungles and crystal-clear waters, and their luxury villa overlooked the ocean, its terrace adorned with vibrant flowers.